What's going on, Crunchtime survivors? Like I told you, it's big today. It's your man, Coach Chang.
Coach Cat.
Coach Brandy.
And we're the Crunchtime Survivor Podcast. And today's guest, oh man, it always make me feel good to see old guys I done coached from years ago. This young man was one of my favorites. He always had swag when he was in school. He was quiet, he was a big shot on the football team. My man, my ace, my nephew, the professional ex, Joe Cubero.
Yes, sir.
Give it up for my man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, man. Yes, ma'am.
So, Joe, man, what you got going on these days, man?
Man, just pretty much doing content now. You know, I started probably about a year ago. I dropped my first reel on New Year's Eve going into 2023. And it's just been a grind, man. I started out just doing it as like therapy. You know, I had just got out of a breakup, which hence the professional ex. And yeah, it just kind of took off for me, man.
Wow. So what made you actually explain to the people, because you are a relationship coach. Some say you're a relationship guru, and they say you are a professional. What are you a professional of?
Man, I feel like I've been a professional at breakups.
Breakups? You know so you get broke up with, or you do the breaking up?
I think it's been a little of both. I'm not even gonna lie. I ain't gonna cap and be like I've done all the breaking up. But I just feel like in my adult life, I've dealt with a good amount of adversity when it comes to relationships and breakups. And this last breakup I had was just about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've just been focused on being single and being the best dad I can be and creating this content.
Okay, so like when you know it's coming up on that time, like, man, how you break up with somebody? Like, how do you do it? Because a lot of men don't know how to break up, and they just stay in situations until they fizzle out.
Man, honestly, I feel like you just got to be real with yourself. You know, some people break up through text. I'm more of a person that I feel like you owe that person, you know, a face-to-face. Not everybody gets that, which is considered closure.
Right. Closure.
But yeah, man, some people, like I said, don't have what it takes to like do that face-to-face. So you get broke up through text, through emails, all types of ways nowadays, through social media.
Man,
you know?
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So like people don't understand, and what I learned about life, a breakup, a divorce is like a death.
Honestly, it can be worse than death
because you got to live through it.
Because death is permanent.
Yeah, you know death is over. You don't have to wake up the day after the breakup.
Yeah, exactly.
So it can be worse than death, and what makes it so bad is the being comfortable.
Yeah.
The knowing the person you with, and now as one of y'all had the courage to say, you know what, this ain't the best situation for me. I'm gonna go ahead and let it go.
Yeah.
And I went through a breakup in 2020, a divorce. We all have been here, you know, in breakups. But as far as your relationship coach, like, what are the signs you look for in a relationship, whether in the beginning, whether you know it's going to be a good or a bad relationship?
I think my three main keys are trust, communication, and attraction. You know, for me, and not in that order, but in order for any relationship to thrive, in my opinion, you know, you got to have trust and communication.
Trust and communication.
What helps you find someone is the attraction to that person, but then you got to hit them deeper levels. You know, I think in order for you to really have a strong bond, you got to become friends first. And I think in this era that we live in, everyone is stuck on instant gratification.
Right.
You know, they talking for 2-3 weeks, now they live together.
Right.
You know, you destined to fail at that because you don't even know that person. You know, so I think in today's age, we're just dealing with a lot of people that want things to be quick and they ain't taking that time to really find out who they dealing with.
So that's crazy.
So you don't believe in the quick, like, we're together, we're in love in a couple weeks?
Not anymore. When I was younger, I used to be on that, like, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm feeling this way, but, you know, I think lust is a big thing when you first meet someone, and it's not love. And we have a tendency to mistaken lust for love.
So what made you understand at the point that that you no longer wanted to have that lust, and it was more of you seeking the love in a relationship? Or do you still seek lust into others? Like, do you know off top, like, if it's going to be something, or if
I can tell honestly within the first conversation where I'm gonna go with somebody, you know, whether we just gonna be cool and just hang out from time to time, go get drinks, or whether I really want to pursue something with that person.
Okay.
And when I make the decision if I want it to go from lust to love, if the potential is there, is the qualities of a person. You know, I have a child, so if anyone's going to be in my life, the first thing they got to do is be able to accept her and the role they're going to play in her life. So it's a lot of factors that go into determining if I really want to be with someone nowadays. It's more than just sexual. It's more than just physical. You know, I need to know where their mindset at.
And that came with age and experience.
Exactly, it came with age and experience, you know what I'm saying? And not to say that I haven't been told this type of information growing up. Chauncey done gave me a bunch of game growing up, but I think as anyone, you gotta really go through some shit sometimes to really learn from it, you know?
So let me ask you this. You think social media helped or hurt relationships going on nowadays?
I think it hurt it, you know, honestly, because everybody thinks they have all these options, you know? Women, they get an inbox from a guy and that makes them feel special. When they don't know nowadays, guys copy and paste, hey gorgeous, to 100 people. You know, and it's a numbers game. You got to think with these dating apps, it's a numbers game. So the more women you get in front of, the more men you get in front of, someone going right back. You know, you're gonna get opportunity to go on a date. So with that, it's this facade that there's a lot of options available, and there's really not. So to me, I feel like I watched Chris Rock one time, and he said when your grandfather went to work, he was gone for 8 hours.
Yeah,
you know, and then when he got back from work, you know, your grandmother had to tell him about the kids, tell him about the day. Everybody got access to you 100 different ways. If I can't get you on text, I can get you on call. If I can't get you on call, I can get you on Instagram. I can get you on Snapchat. There's so much accessibility to people, but that also puts you out there to be accessible to other people as well. You know, I feel like nowadays social media is probably one of the main contributors to infidelity, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So should you keep your significant other a secret from social media? Like,
I think until y'all have that solid bond, that it should be private. You know, because when you put things public like that, you got bad eyes looking on you. You got people that don't want to see you happy. You got people that just watch you just to see if you falling off.
Right.
So I wouldn't put too much of your information out there, even once you in the relationship, because I don't like the feeling, and I've dealt with this. We all dealt with this. You posting all that lovey-dovey shit.
Yep.
Then when the relationship in, you ain't posting none of that. You just take the pictures down real quiet.
Yeah, you just take them down quietly, and then somebody else appears.
Yeah, you know.
And man, that's crazy. But like what you said, keeping it private. A lot of women have a problem with keeping stuff private because they feel like a man is trying to keep them a secret. And in some cases, that may be the case. But like, I'm a private but public person. And I always felt like, and I was raised that when you having beef or issues with people in the streets or in life, where we come from, the first thing a dude to try to do is talk to your girl. You know what I'm saying? And the first part of talking to her, is knowing who she is. And I had to learn in life to keep what I love reserved, what I love in my pocket. But I almost got caught up in, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, what we gonna do at one point in time in life? But there's nothing that serious. And relationships are scary because, hell, I went through a divorce in 2020 and it was epic.
Yeah.
When I tell you my divorce was epic, I'm talking about it was a motion picture.
Yeah.
And to her defense, 2 years prior to, she asked for a way out. And then when you keep fighting for something that's not fighting for you, certain things happen. And they end abruptly, and they end in the ways that you don't want them to end. But you got to respect the fact that if somebody has the courage to say this ain't working, you got to stop fighting. You got to stop fighting and let it fight for itself.
Yeah.
Or leave, because if you don't, anything can happen. Like my divorce, man, like I had to, when I went through my divorce, I had to unfollow. I had to detach myself from like life because she hadn't already moved on. You know, and people say that, you know what I'm saying, it was looked at as if she was cheating. No, because she had already left the relationship 2 years ago. The marriage was dead 2 years ago. Yeah. And it's just like now that I'm older and I went through that, I can understand she been gone.
Yep.
And I was fighting for something that I just wanted because it was what I knew. And just because I knew it it was, well, man, I'm gonna just stay here because I ain't got time to be learning nobody else. So I'm gonna deal with this misery. And even in dealing with the misery, you in a situation of now family members don't like you because people are gonna side, and people gonna side with who they know and what they love, no matter what it is. Yeah, that family member, because you got to remember when you're marrying a woman with kids and she has kids, those are her kids.
Oh yeah.
And then when they hit the fan, right, wrong, and indifferent, I know how I'm about my mama. I tell her she wrong when she cooking the greens in the kitchen next Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a situation where my situation it didn't end well, and it was situations that people felt like they had to do what they had to do. But you know what? When you sit back and you look at all of it, it's respected because everybody walked out, everybody lived. But like I said, it was an epic motion picture because I got divorced January 2020.
Okay.
No, January 2022.
Okay.
At 10 a.m. 12 a.m. her ex-husband was proposing to her.
Oh,
But guess what though?
I ain't know that.
But guess what though? I ain't mad at her.
Yeah.
I ain't even like I'm not mad at her because one thing I respect out of all of it, she did what she had to do to make herself happy.
She already checked out too.
You know what? That just tell me that you healed as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like with me and my child's mother. You know what I'm saying? Like I meet any men that she decide to date, like her boyfriend right now. I've met him. We sit beside each other at basketball games, and we all just in this for Mia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's best for her. And I'm at a healed point of view. I make it very easy to be with my child's mother because I'm healed.
Right.
We specifically only talk about my daughter. She want to see me happy. I want to see her happy.
Yeah.
But to comment on your point, it's said that women leave mentally before they leave physically.
Yeah.
So her coming to you 2 years before y'all actually split.
Yeah.
But what probably happened was after she came to you and said, "Hey, I want to leave," that's when you start grasping.
Yeah, that's when I start grasping.
Because once you feel like something don't want you no more, oddly enough, that's when we want it.
That's when we want it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly
and
how it
it's too
goes.
late at that point.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. Now, don't get it twisted. I mean, it can look as if, how fast she moved on. It can look as if she did her thing. I wasn't right. And it's just about like karma. Like, just about karma and it's about do on the others as you do yourself. I wasn't right. And half of the time, you either getting your lick back or you finding out, and you don't find out other stuff when you put the pieces together long down the road. Oh, that's why this was X, Y, Z, and that's why this was that. And then when you sit back and look, you know what? I deserve that because I wasn't right.
Yeah.
I wasn't right.
Do you believe in getting your lick back? Like, is that something?
I don't anymore because it's just a waste of energy. You know what I'm saying? You exerting energy towards something that's just negative because anytime you want to get your lick back, that's just negative emotion.
Yeah.
But I was like that. I'm not gonna lie. I've been the type of person that I've ended it with exes where we'll never speak again because I made it that way. I said something or did something to where I knew they were never gonna want to speak to me again because I didn't want to speak to them ever again. Because I know at heart I'm an empathetic person, so I forgive. I didn't want them coming back to me for me to give them the chance to be forgiven.
Okay.
I've forgiven them now. But in the process, I didn't want to speak to them, so I would advertently or intentionally do something to make them not want to speak to me. You know what I'm saying? So I was all about getting my lick back, but now it's just easier to move on with your life, and you don't carry that on your conscience. You know?
Oh man,
I ain't became that good yet.
you ain't became that good yet.
Man, it's a peaceful place to be.
It's a peaceful place to be.
It's a balance between like women and men in relationships when it comes to different things. And I know I was talking to Coach Chang about like interracial dating.
Yep.
How when somebody gets with another race, a male, it's like huge within our culture. Black or Hispanic gets with a different race, it's huge. But then when it comes to the woman, if a woman dates outside of her race, normally a black woman, or a Spanish woman dates outside of her race, it's not as huge of a deal where it is for a man. Like, so when you're talking to others and others are coming to you with advice about that, like, how do you feel? Like,
so I'm actually in that situation because my child's half black. My child's mama's black. She cheered for the Bucks, like all types of shit. But for me, it was hard at first with her because her parents are really strong Christians. You know what I'm saying? So her father strongly believed that she should be with someone of her ethnicity, which he wasn't wrong for that, But I dealt with that in the beginning of that relationship with her. And I just think, man, you know, if you get caught up in how other people feel or what other people think, you ain't never gonna be happy.
Yeah,
you know,
that's real.
I think for men, it's more accepted for us to date other women, you know, and when it comes to women, it almost looks like y'all selling out. Like, oh, you went and found a white man. Or, oh, you went and did this. And it's just a bitter point of view, because whoever makes that person happy, you should be happy for them.
Right.
Should be white, Asian, whatever the case may be. You know, I don't discriminate, but I just think that there's still a bunch of double standards on both sides.
On both sides, yeah.
When it comes to dating, and that's one of those things that women deal with, that when y'all finally decide to date someone that's outside the norm, y'all get looked at, you know what I'm saying, a certain way, whereas we don't. It's kind of just accepted for us.
So I want to ask you this, like, as far as when it comes to these content, you know, creators or self-proclaimed gurus, why do you think some of them are becoming so famous putting out the wrong image or the wrong?
I think that people get a little bit of attention, or they get a little bit of traction, and they found themselves a little niche, you know, and they just kind of run with that, even though their views and their own personal beliefs might not be to what they put out.
Right.
It's just them likes and follows, man, make a lot of people act a certain way.
Yeah.
Whereas with myself, how I carved out my niche, like, I didn't expect any of this to take place, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just started out doing voiceovers because it was therapeutic for me to get over a past relationship.
Yeah.
Right? So one thing turned into the next. I ended up having a reel go viral, but one of my best, the whole reason this whole thing came about was I was venting to a best friend after a breakup one time.
Right.
And I had told her, yo, man, I'm starting to really feel, shout out to Elsie, by the way.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm starting to feel like a professional ex-boyfriend, man. She was like, and she's always known I wanted to do entertainment. I've known her over a decade now, so I've always kept that real with her. But every relationship I was in, the girl never supported it. None of my exes supported it. So anytime I come to them and be like, yo, I want to do entertainment, yo, I want to try to get into acting, they first point of view was, oh, you just want to do it to leave me and find another bitch. And I'd always be like, I get women now, you know what I'm saying?
So it ain't the entertainment.
It ain't.
It ain't on you, it's in you.
It ain't the fact that I wanted to meet other women. I want to be able to level up my family.
Right.
I feel like I got the talent to do that. So as soon as me and the last relationship ended, I was talking to Elsie and I said, man, I feel like a professional ex-boyfriend. She say, that's it.
There you go.
And I say, what's it? She say, the professional ex. I say, you want me to call myself the professional ex? She say, women gonna eat it up. And she was completely right. My reel went viral. I changed my IG and all my social medias to the professional ex, bought the LLC, bought the URL, got the Gmail, everything popping. We got the website, theprofessionalex.com.
Yeah.
Now you talked about the support when it comes to, you know, what you shared with your exes and them supporting. So that's huge within a relationship, supporting your dreams or, you know, what you want to do.
Man, I think that's huge with any relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like these two, I just met Kat today, but I've known Chauncey over 20 years. I support these dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything Chauncey doing, I'm gonna support. And Rick Ross said it one time. He's like, man, I be scrolling through Instagram. I don't even care what my homie doing. I'ma like it.
I'ma like it.
And nowadays, you don't really got that. You got homies that will check your shit day in and day out and don't drop a like, don't say a comment, but they your people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that it is important in any relationship, you got friendship, marriage, whatever, to support that person and what they want to do.
Okay.
Man, that's big.
I love that.
And you spoke on something when you were saying when your girl fathered and like that. How big of a role is that in your relationship if the family doesn't agree with what you have going on?
I think it could be tough, but again, that comes down to y'all having that communication and that bond, you know, because there's plenty of people that done made relationships, marriages work, and the parents didn't like one or the other, you know? So you ain't gotta be with the parents.
You gotta be
that
with the
person.
individual.
So her and I never had issues over that, to be honest.
Right.
She never, I mean, she respected her father and how he felt, but she never really let that play a role in the relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what about a kid? If your child didn't like a female?
I've dealt with that. My daughter has not liked someone I was with, and it makes it tough. You know.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's very vocal.
Yeah, so she's very vocal. She's very smart. but she's a daddy's girl. I get my daughter 7 days at a time, and I've been doing that for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Monday to Monday, I get her. But so she's very in tune with me, and the girl that I was with, you know, she just wasn't a good fit for me, and my daughter could sense that. So that made it tough. And when your child doesn't like someone, man, it's hard for everyone to be happy, because that person can sense it, you know, and then there starts to be a little bit of animosity.
Now I will say this, right? Because like step kids, step parents, mother and father are the most unappreciated people in the world.
Agreed.
They have all of the priority, not all the privileges, and this goes both ways. And dealing with, like, say in a relationship, the kid got a problem with the spouse. I mean, with the spouse, the mate or whatever, and constantly try to make things hard. But this individual, stepmom or dad, is the other half while your kid is with you. How does it make you feel to know that sometimes in the black culture, in our culture, you always hear women say, my children before my man, my children before my man. How's it for a man with his daughter? Does your daughter come before your woman? You know?
So I'm gonna speak from the perspective of where I'm at right now. My daughter come before everybody, you know?
Okay.
When I'm in a relationship, I would like to think that my daughter gonna be a strong second. Because if I'm looking to build with somebody, then that relationship has to be the top, the pinnacle, and then your kids. And I always used to hear that, right? And I would be like, nah, my daughter come first, my daughter come first. But if I'm gonna put my daughter above my relationship, how can my relationship ever thrive?
How could that be your partner? I got a question. I got a question for you. But see, why is that? Like, listen. And I not knocking, because my mama probably say my children come first. But listen, this is what I'll say. My mom is wrong. Because it's sometimes, I don't agree with it. I don't agree. I don't. You understand what I'm saying? But I have to respect it out of respect for her, because I'm a man.
Single right now?
Yeah, single.
So we had the same mentality. Like, my daughter come first. Like, when I'm meeting women, like, you can ask anyone that knows me. The week I have my daughter, I just dropped her off this morning. The weeks I have her, I don't chill, I don't date, I don't go with no one, because they know that's my time with Mia. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, the person that I bring into her life has to be a good fit, because the 7 days I don't have Mia, that woman doesn't have to split any time. When I have Mia, Mia has to split her time with that woman.
Yeah, right.
So that 7 days she used to get from her daddy by herself, now it's cut in half, because she got to split it with this person.
Now, do you feel like, because I'm telling you, before I had kids, so I was a little older when I had my son, 28.
Okay,
so
I was 27 when I had my daughter.
And, you know, we've been friends with people that had kids very young.
Yep.
So prior to me having my son, I never really understood that parent role. Like, I would feel a way if somebody canceled on me to, you know, have to deal with their kids. I didn't really understand it. So I would get mad, like, you know, gotta get your kid or whatever like that. However, once I had my son, I understood it more, because I have to cancel sometimes, you know, for my son. Do you feel like you have to date somebody with kids for them to understand, or you're able to date somebody without kids? Cause
I think it all just depends on the person, to be honest, because I've dated a girl that didn't have a kid, and she was amazing. You know, like, she was great with my daughter. And then I've dated girls that had kids that didn't understand, and it was weird to me.
So, Brandon, let me ask you a question. Like, going back, you said your son come before anybody, right? And you stand on that.
as of right now, yes.
All right. So if you had a man in your life, if you had a man in your life, how does that work with him?
I mean, it would depend on where we are at the time. Like, initially, my son's gonna come first. So if he feels a way or he has an opinion, I'm gonna take his opinion. He's only about to be 6, but I feel like kids know, they see stuff that we don't. Kids
Exactly.
have kids' intuition. So it's something there that if he doesn't like this person, it's a reason. So that gives me more research to look and see what it may be.
But what if the reason is just discipline? What if the reason is just structure that he's not used to?
See, I believe that's all about your teaching and your parenting. With my son Chase, he is not gonna just not like somebody. You know,
Okay.
He's not gonna just not like somebody. He has a father that's involved in his life. We co-parent very well as of right now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we good. So, but I feel like he's not just gonna not like anybody. Even when, like, right now, when it comes, his dad has someone that he's dating.
Yeah.
We're cool. We go to, the games together. We sit next to each other, like, we're cool. And the first thing, all I care about is how she treats him. So when he
Okay.
comes home, I say, what did you guys do? I've asked him, hey, how does such and such? He loves her,
But
and
again,
that's only my
but
concern.
I'm
So,
asking,
same thing on my side.
but this is why I feel like the double standard is, because a man can come in your life and he can treat that child as his own, not like, but as his own. Right? And he's still gonna be fifth on the priority sheet. But when he go out in that world, he gotta make everybody in that house number one. And let's look at it from that point.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you feel like no matter what, to me personally, I feel like it gets to that point. Like in the beginning, I feel like the child should come 1st. Now it gets to the point of where we're married.
Okay.
That's when I feel like then it can be an adjustment. But if we're just in a relationship and we're building, I do feel like my son, he gonna come first.
So, but if
And
your
you have
son
to
always first,
understand
though, if your son always first and you still building, you can always pull away from that sometimes. Because you can be building perfectly, but then your son want that structure. He can
You
see
have to
it.
you have to make me get to that point, to where you are first. So you have to be doing your job not only with me, but also with my son.
So what you feel about that?
So my thing with that is, like I said, for me right now, my daughter come first because I'm single. I don't even have a prospect on the list of someone that I'm serious with.
No prospect?
I got some people
I got a bunch of homegirls, but I ain't got nobody that I'm talking to or serious with to where I'm like, I see a future with this person, because a future with someone isn't even on my mind right now. I'm just focused on being single, which this is the first time in my life.
And promoting your brand, let the people know.
The professional X, baby. So to me, I feel like it's a gradual process. Like, you can't just go from my son's priority to this guy's priority all of a sudden, because that's also going to weigh on the kids. So I think it has to be a gradual, transition, just like anything in life, I think in order to be successful, that has to be the case, because if your son knows he's number one, once he get old enough to really know how to manipulate a situation, he could really do that. So if he don't like that man, he could throw some kinks in y'all plans just because he don't like him. And I know you say he ain't the type to like nobody for no reason, but your man might say or do something that he don't like. Now all of a sudden he don't like him, and he causing turmoil between y'all relationship, and your son always gonna come first. So your man never even have a chance to grow with you. So I feel like there has to come a time in that relationship when y'all really sit down and have that conversation, like, this what we doing, like, it's me and you versus the world. You know what I'm saying? Even if my kid feels a certain way about it, but I think those discussions also have to be had with the kid.
Well, I got a question for you.
Okay.
We leaving church. You leaving church.
Okay.
You got your mom. You got your lady. They both walking to the front seat. They have a disagreement. Who you tell to get in the back seat?
I mean, honestly, I hope I don't gotta tell nobody to get in the back seat, but I'm telling the person I gotta sleep with in the bed to get in the front seat. You know what I'm saying? I love my mama to death. I love my mama to death, but a happy spouse is a happy house.
Yeah. But all right, even in saying loving your mama to death, how could you give your daughter that much leeway?
What do you mean?
Now you just said. Now quote me. You said right. Oh, you said as of right now, my daughter come before.
No, I would never make my daughter get in the front seat over my girl. My girl getting in the front seat. My daughter gonna have to understand a child's place.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all I want.
Yeah. No. We ain't doing that.
And we're talking about kids. How do you feel about discipline with like step parents?
So I haven't had to play the step parent role because I've never been married, but I've dated one girl. I've only dated one girl that had a kid. Like, we was in a relationship, and it was tough for me because I felt like I was in a certain point with my child's mother to where we really only spoke about Mia, and the girl I was dating was fresh out of a relationship, which goes to my realtor.
Your realtor, that was good.
Be mindful of people that are fresh out of relationships, because the Band-Aid always gets thrown away once the wound heals. And I feel like that if someone hasn't taken the time to heal from the person they was with, you just gonna find yourself getting ran over. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it ain't gonna happen every time, but like I was dealing with someone that was fresh out of an engagement, had a baby, you know, the whole
How soon
nine.
was that? When you started dealing?
When I met her, she gave me the, you know, I've been gone from him mentally for months. But we've been separated from the house for 3 months, and I was like,
so that was bad.
that's light, you know. But you know, I try to just stay balanced when it comes to that, you know. When the time comes and I feel like I'm ready to be with someone, then that time will be right for me.
And you okay with somebody disciplining your daughter?
I
Do you feel like they should call you?
It depends what the discipline is, because I don't put hands on my daughter. You know, I haven't had to pop my child since she was 5 years old. You know,
Right.
Do I get mad? Do I use some profanity with her ass sometimes? Of course.
Yeah.
But as far as the physical part, I feel like there comes a certain age where that ain't effective no more.
Right.
You actually have to have some dialogue with them. But to answer y'all's question, as far as a step parent disciplining, I think there has to be a rapport there with the child and that person before that person has the ability to speak to them in a certain manner, because it's not going to be accepted by that child. There's going to be, you know, like some pushback.
Right. I think it should be a meeting overall with both sets of parents.
Yeah.
I mean, like me coaching football and dealing with younger kids, and you hear both sides of situations when the parents are separated and both of them have significant others or husbands and wives. I think they need to sit down together as a collective group, and they need to lay down the laws of discipline.
Yeah.
Listen, and as that stepfather or stepmom, it's rules in my house.
Yeah.
And as long as you're in my house, we're going to go by my rules.
Yeah.
Now, we have to be I think the parents should be on the same page, because if you're on the punishment here, if you got to go over there, you're on the punishment over there.
No.
But a lot of people don't do it that way.
No.
A lot of people don't do it that way, and then you saying like because these days you can't even whoop your own children without risk.
No.
Nah, but that's why I chose not to have none, because people are like, man, you only got 2 kids. Hey, man, I had a bad experience with being a baby dad, and I had a bad experience with being with baby mamas.
Yep.
So you know, I held out this long. I had a 26 and a 21-year-old, and you know, it was tough.
It was tough.
Go ahead.
That's a major problem, because especially when people have older kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you come in and you try to implement your ways, and you may have a better way, but they ain't trying to change where they at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you come in there and like a child does something wrong. I seen certain parents, I ain't gonna say mama or daddy, but they always brush it under the rug. My child ain't gonna, they can't do no wrong.
My baby.
So you may come in and be like, you know what, I see that road they're going down, it ain't gonna be good when they got in the real world. And you the problem now.
I think that's something that has to be weighed in the beginning of the relationship as a man or as a woman, if you're going to be able to deal with how that person is about their kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you see that you're dealing with a person that their kid is never wrong, you're going to have an uphill battle to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I was in the position where I was getting married to a woman that, let's say, had a teenage boy, you know what I'm saying? Like the situation you're talking about, I'd probably try to take the approach of building a rapport with him. What are his interests?
Yeah.
What does he like to do? Go about it that way, to where we build a friendship, to where when I come at him about something, he doesn't feel like I'm coming at him on some, you know what I'm saying? He feel like I'm coming at him like
We can have a discussion.
as a friend or as a parent, you know. But communication is everything, man. So I feel like you can't just walk into a house and be an iron ruler. Like even when I was at my last job, I was running like 15, 20 guys. I didn't come in with that, you gonna do it my way shit, because people ain't gonna take to that. I've always been the type to want to talk to people and have an understanding of what we're trying to achieve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it goes the same way with a kid. Like, especially if, let's say, the kid doesn't have a father figure in his life, that's gonna be foreign to him that you even trying to approach him on some shit
They
like
don't know
that.
how.
We were prepping the other day, and we were just talking, having a discussion on the way back from Georgia, and people don't understand. They be like, she was like, well, why men cheat? And I can only speak on black men, right? Because that's all I've ever been, as a black man. And they don't understand the disadvantages we're put at from the time we're as an adolescent, a child. When he's a little baby, first thing the mamas do, boy, they get him fitted. He looking good, and what they say, that's my baby. My son gonna have all the girls going crazy. All right.
Yeah.
So you hearing that as a child. Then you get to elementary. You got your big brothers and your uncle said, boy, how many phone numbers you got today? Oh man, I got about 6 or 7 in junior high. The same thing. And then you get into life and you've been bred that feel like you can talk to as many as women as you want to. Mm-hmm. And it's not right. But then people forget, then they ask you why men cheat. And it's starting from when you're a child. And people put that in your mindset because when you was in school, I saw you. You know what I'm saying? I know who you were. I was a dog myself in my day. You understand what I'm saying? But people don't. They ask that question, and they asking a man this question. And to be honest, he can't even tell you.
To comment on that, honestly, man, I feel like just as you get older, it's a lot of things you got to unlearn from your childhood.
Yeah.
So just, it's a lot of shit that I saw and was taught inadvertently because I was raised by my father.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised by my mother. Man. You know? So it was a lot of things that my dad was a kid raising kids. He was 19 with 2 kids, And that's how it is in our culture. Like, he didn't even have a chance to develop as an adult to raise us from an adult perspective. He was a kid raising kids. So when I look back, he did the best he could, and my dad did a great job. Shout out, Pops.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I think it boils down to unlearning stuff and how you want to be. It comes to a point where getting all the women don't matter. That
don't matter.
Don't mean nothing.
Don't matter. It don't even move you.
One good girl is worth 1,000 hoes.
So one good girl should be enough.
Nah, I think honestly, it depends. But that depends on the person. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't want that disclaimer. No. She lying. That was he said that. He said that, not me.
I never
said that.
No. Are you come out you? No, come out. Come here for a second. Come on.
I never said 4.
We was talking about the Islamic religion. We was talking about the Islamic religion.
He said they allowed to have 4.
He said they're allowed to have 4 wives.
You gotta treat them all the same.
Yeah. You gotta treat them all the same. Now explain to the people what we were talking about. She gonna talk about it. I said we can have 4. I said Islamic, a part of the Islamic culture.
You wanted 4.
No. I said I wanted. No, I'm not. It's a lie. Yeah. Now I said why not have 4? Yeah. That ain't what that meant. Don't put that on me, cause you. That was his ass. That wasn't me.
No, so in Islam you can have up to 4 wives.
Yeah.
But it says God knows that you cannot love them all equally the same. But you could try your best. That's up to you. But he says in your heart, he knows in your heart you cannot love them all exactly 100% equally. Doesn't mean you can't treat them equally, but you have to be able to. That's between you and God. But yeah, you're allowed to have up to 4 wives.
Man, that sounds like 4 headaches.
Yeah. 4 headaches.
I'm serious.
But Kat, do you think the headache's worth it?
Sometimes.
Hey, look. Now own up to your stuff.
You telling me you want to have 4 women under the same roof?
No, that's not allowed.
No,
that's not allowed.
No.
Now see, they gotta live in separate houses.
Yes.
Oh man, that's
No. Listen, this is the thing.
But you can't.
But that's where people get polygamy, and they try because in the Muslim culture, from what I read, they cannot be in the same home. Probably everybody try to move in the same house.
Maybe they can have different rooms.
Yeah.
But think about it back then. You just build a different house. They would not build like houses like this back then. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I'm sure it probably means like different houses. But if your house is big enough and you got different rooms, it's probably similar. If your house is big enough.
So do you have do you have in the culture do you have a wedding for each, or is it just like? Do you have that?
Well, in the culture is different. These days, you gotta have a party and celebration and all this stuff.
For each
crazy.
one.
That's the culture.
Okay.
But in Islam, you're not supposed to have a crazy wedding. You're supposed to get married for religion. That's it. Get married. Give your what is it called? It's something you give to the wife when you get married in case and that's for her to keep. That's it's her. She owns it, whether it's money or gold or valuables. And if you get divorced, she keeps it. It's like a safety.
So how does divorce work in your culture? How does that
You're
work?
not supposed to get divorced?
It's frowned upon.
I mean, why would anyone want to get divorced?
Because somebody cheated.
Why are you guys cheating? See,
maybe that's why. Maybe why that's in your culture. They give you access to 4 women, so cheating is.
No, if you can get remarried 3 times to the same woman, so it's not. There's always.
To the same woman.
Yes, if you say you get divorced and then you want to get back together, you can do that 3 times. After the 3rd time, you cannot go back unless she gets with another person first. And then she gets divorced to him, and then you can go back.
Is there a rule book like that y'all got?
Yes, it's the Quran.
Yeah.
This is all.
So
I don't know nothing about the Quran.
But see, that's why I say it's crazy. when we look at our culture, I'm speaking from my culture, how crazy it is, like people don't even get married in the first place.
Yeah, because they say
Be
you gotta
engaged 10 years.
So right.
Yeah,
So-
but marriage is a scary thing now.
Listen,
So I don't understand why marriage is scary to people when, to me, it's a union. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say you with somebody for 10 years. Something happens to them the day of tomorrow. That's who you want, and that's who you built everything with. Now, the family members who they ain't even deal with, they come and take everything.
I feel like now I watched this guy.
With no marriage.
A lot of people do that.
And that happens
But
a
why?
lot because people are scared
She
of
not good
marriage.
enough?
It ain't even about she. Maybe he's not good enough. Maybe he proposed and she said no.
But
If
you
you're
wasting
together
her
for
time.
10 years, you still think they're not good enough? That's
Yeah,
not how
10
it works.
years. That's
That goes
This
on a lot.
is my thing.
Goes on a lot.
You together with someone for 10 years and you don't think they're good enough. You wasting people's time.
Right.
For real.
But two, so every relationship I've been in, I handled it like it was a marriage. The only thing we ain't have was documents. We lived together, you know what I'm saying, majority of my relationships, and we handled ourselves like that.
she
So
can have
to
everything.
but
So tell me this. And this is what kills me. And we gonna go into this 50-50 thing. And I'm gonna give you my analogy on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you mine.
And I guess she'll give you yours and get whatever. But I'm gonna go first.
Why didn't you let him go first?
All right, well, you can go first.
Okay.
Go ahead. What's your analogy on the 50-50 thing?
as far as
50 bills?
relationship,
Yeah.
We the same house.
I feel like, I've always went after women that got things going for themselves. So I ain't never been with a woman that didn't have shit going for themselves. So all the women I've ever been with have wanted to contribute. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never been that guy that's like, I gotta take care of my woman, I'm the man of the house, all that shit. I'm like, yo, if we get together and you're successful and I'm successful and we could achieve more together by doing it this way, then let's do it that way. I grew up with a father that was like that. He wanted to provide for everything, but then when the time came and he got divorced, he lost everything. You know what I'm saying? And I saw this guy the other day, I forget his name, but he was on IG and he said that marriages nowadays are like a business decision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when we meet a woman, the first thing our boys ask us is, what does she look like? When you meet a man, you go tell your girls you met someone, they're gonna ask you what he do.
Yeah. What does
You know
he
what I'm
do?
saying? So
What
it's
he
a
work?
financial decision. Y'all find out what y'all credit look like, or at least you should.
My mama told me don't date broke.
It's a business decision because y'all conjoining whatever assets y'all have together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna acquire a life together. But at the end of the day, statistically, the man is the one that honestly loses in divorces. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really beneficial nowadays for a man to get married. And I feel like that
Not
little
beneficial.
document or that paper changes the whole outlook of everything. People be completely happy until they sign that document.
What about
Once it's the
prenup?
pressure.
Yeah, prenup. That's a business decision.
That's
It is a business. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, if I acquire a bunch of success and then I meet someone, I'm gonna probably present a prenup because you wasn't around when
If you weren't when I was shooting in the
I
gym.
feel
I
like that
really
on my end
can't
as well.
trust, because women are emotional beings where we're logical. You know what I'm saying? So
We can be
where in the
petty.
moment she might not feel like she want to take my shit because she love me,
when I
but
get
when
mad.
she get mad and she feels scorned, now she want to take
Something
everything.
$100.
You know what I'm saying? And I had this before I met you. Now, if I met a woman, let's say I meet a woman and my IG kind of doing well now and I'm making money, but let's say I met a woman in the process that I'm at right now and I ain't really big as I want to be.
Right.
I probably wouldn't make her sign a prenup because I ain't really,
You know
other
it's
than my
real.
whip, I ain't really got shit for her to take like that. I got
Yeah.
some assets and some
But she
businesses and
helping
shit,
you.
but she gonna help me grow.
Okay.
So I wouldn't want someone like that put effort into me becoming somebody. I wouldn't want to put her under that because she earned that position in my life.
So check this
but
out.
if you just coming out of nowhere, no, I'll probably.
And that's a
Brandon,
deal breaker for you?
let me ask you something. You said your mama told you not to date broke, but what if he's in the process of building?
But see, that's where I'm different. Like, I'm the type that I feel like if we're growing
What does
together.
broke mean to you? Like what? Like just money?
Broke to me, I mean,
Is
it's
broke
different when it
only
comes
is
to-
broke only monetarily to
Yeah,
you,
that's
or is
definitely-
broke also a mindset?
See, me personally, I don't look at finances when I'm dating somebody. My mom, she has different different things.
I'm old school, yeah.
And yes, you know, of course, a man is supposed to take care of a woman. Like my dad, when we grew up, my dad, they both worked, of course, but my dad would come, give a check, you know, and she would pay the bills and, you know, everything like that. Me personally, I've always been somebody that I'm okay with helping a man or help build a man to their full potential. I'm fine with it. So I don't go with everything that my parents say, because if my, you know, if I went off of that, then of course I would just date somebody because of what they have financially. Now, broke can be somebody that doesn't have as much as you when it comes to financially. I own my own business now. So to somebody else, it may be somebody who doesn't have their own business. So some females, they feel like if you own a business and a man works a 9 to 5, they're not good enough for you. Whereas a lot of these 9 to 5s, you making more than somebody that does have their business. You know, so in my personal opinion, I don't feel like you should just go after somebody's finances to determine if they're going to be a good fit for you. You have to go by what you think and, you know, what you feel is going to be the best situation.
So I got a question for you, and don't take this language the wrong way. Would you rather be a rich man's whore or a poor man's queen?
I mean, I have my own, so I want to be treated. I want to be treated well. So I don't feel like you have to be rich. Like I've always been the type that I don't go after your money.
Gotcha.
Like I've dated people with money, and I've dated people that didn't have as much money that I've been treated better by somebody who didn't have as much.
Gotcha.
But you know, we're together, we're a unit. I'm the type, I'm gonna make sure we straight regardless. You know, like I tell Coach all the time, like I'm a type that I don't mind paying for a date. I don't mind, you know, go get something nice for yourself, but that's me. A lot of females don't do that. But in that sense, you also get used. I've been used in my life. So it makes you kind of skeptical of who to now do things for, because, you know, you've been on the other end. You're like, are they really with me for me, or, you know?
And I want to comment on what you said. There's a lot of women out here, fellas, that are paying for dates nowadays, and they're willing to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's big out here. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I get a lot of women that hit me up asking me to go on dates, you know, and even before I had the social media, I had things happening like that. Obviously, it's a lot more now because of my social media. But I think that we're in a place where women are earners, and there's sometimes where women are earning more than a man. And let's say I got with a woman that was earning more than me, I'm gonna help her earn as much as possible. What can I do to help you be better? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna support that. And I feel like that's just an insecurity. If you get with someone that's doing really well and you want to try to make them feel like shit about that, that's a problem you having with yourself, and you need to fix that. You know what I'm saying? As men, I think in order for us to evolve, we got to stop thinking like men in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Okay. This ain't that time frame.
Okay.
You believe
that's the reason why.
60s and 70s and 80s?
Huh?
You think that's like how they thought back then?
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Women wasn't allowed to write or wasn't allowed to vote. They had to stay in the house and raise kids. They didn't have the same job opportunities. They didn't have the same money earning opportunities. So now they do. So I feel like it's a whole different era. Like women owning businesses, women buying houses, women are successful. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a whole different era we're living in nowadays.
And that mindset that the men have about the women, that was just because of that time growing up, or is it just something that men throughout life, throughout all of history,
even your
had?
culture?
Yeah, like
I think it's probably a cultural thing. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of cultures right now that still don't play that shit. You know what I'm saying? The man is the provider, the woman is at home with the kids. I mean, I know some cultures that the woman ain't even allowed to speak to another man. You know, ain't even allowed to look at him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in Islam, we're not supposed to look at the other gender.
Yeah, you know.
You have to
You could look, of course you look, but it says avert your gaze. Like, it's not that hard. You see someone, you look, you keep going. Avert your gaze. Not just keep staring, you know, like.
Yeah.
So like in situations like, what if a man just came and just honest, look, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to give you. I'm in the process of doing X, Y, and Z. A lot of women are turned off about, now it's some women that are not. It's some women that's gonna ride for you when you tell them the truth. When you tell them the truth. Why is this generational, why are a lot of these women so prone to what they want to hear versus on what they need to hear when it comes to men being honest?
Because a lie sound better. You know what I'm saying?
Smooth lies.
A lie sound better. You know what I'm saying? How many, Would you rather hear about a guy that's sitting here telling you he got all this shit going on, or you want someone to come to you and be real and be like, honestly, you're going to want someone to come to you and be real about it because you want honesty, but it sound better that he got all this bullshit going on that's not real. I think that if I was giving my daughter advice, if she was older and she was dating someone and someone came to her and was like, look, I ain't got shit right now, but this is my plan, and he has a plan placed in front of him, he actually putting action behind that plan, then I think that if she loves him, she should give it an opportunity. Don't waste your life. You know what I'm saying? You need to see some shit happening. But I think there's been a lot of women out there that left the man too soon. He went on to be successful, and now she bitter as fuck because she didn't want to wait it out. You know what I'm saying? And now the next woman reaping the benefits off the fruits of the labor that she put in with him, but she left too soon. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a big thing we deal with in this generation and just in this time frame is patience. Ain't nobody got no patience. And that's one thing I try to preach about the social media shit. You got to be consistent and you got to be patient because you never know. Your next video, your next reel, your next story could be the one. You know what I'm saying? It just pop out of nowhere. That's what happened for me. To be honest, my reel that blew up, it was a one about being the fine X. I was getting out of bed. I was like, I had to hit the gym because I got to be the fine X. I ain't even like the reel. It was a voiceover. I woke up the next morning. It wasn't doing well likes-wise. I was going to delete it. 3 weeks later, I'm at a wedding. All of a sudden, my phone, bang, 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 bang. I'm like, damn, I look at it. It went from 12,000 views, which were about my average at that point, to then it's at 30. By the time I left the wedding, it's at 90. So that's my first reel that blew up. But I ain't even like this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of my favorite reels, but you don't ever know how the public's gonna perceive it. So what you think is funny might not be funny to everybody else. And what you think ain't funny, everybody else might think it's hilarious. So my advice to everyone is just put that content out and be patient. But I think to just be patient in general with every, I place it, and once it's out there, I go in the comments every once in a while, but for the most part, I just let that shit go. I put it out there, and however it's interpreted, it's interpreted. But I think patience is a big key nowadays, you know. Now if the dude in his 40s and he ain't got nothing going on, you know, he ain't got no kids, he ain't never been married, he ain't never been engaged, those are red flags, you know. Like, I'd tell that to my child. I'd tell that to my child's mother, man. I'd tell that to my child's mother. This man ain't got nothing going on. Like, you really want to bring this dude around our daughter, you know? But
well, at least y'all have that
so
rapport.
should your opinion matter?
Should my opinion on who she date? Absolutely not. I don't get involved in who she's dating. I just know who she's dating because I asked to meet them before they meet my daughter, because I want to shake their hand. I want them to feel my presence. You know what I'm saying? I want them to know that I'm active in her life. So we just have a rule that anybody we decide to be serious with, we have to meet them first. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. But her and I have a great rapport. We co-parent at a high level. I'm not on child support. We never been to court over it. We just came to an agreement that we was gonna split her 7 days at a time, and we stuck to that, and it's worked for us. And not to say that we haven't had rocky points early when we first split up, but now we at such a smooth level of just my daughter's principles on a roll, you know, like she thrived and she played ball. She cheered like her mama for a little while. She might go back to that. But I just say that, you know, patience is a virtue, man. And that's very cliche. But honestly, man, right when you're ready to give up or right when you're ready to quit, and that just like same thing with women, right when you're ready to give up on that man or quit on that man is when he about to blow sometimes. And they walk away too soon and they may be bitter and have everything bad to say about it.
Hold up. Let's take out a break.
Thank you for watching this episode of Crunchtime Survivors. My name is Ayoub. I'm usually the person behind the camera. Go ahead and follow us on the Ko-Fi. That's where we're gonna start posting all of our podcasts. You can log in with the Google account or Facebook account, and we're also gonna have our merch on there. So I'd like for you to join us. We really would appreciate that. And let's get back into this podcast.
I got a question though. How do you feel about like athletes? Since we are coaches, how do you feel about athletes that black is good enough when you ain't made it yet, but then when they make it, all of a sudden it's another race?
You mean like
football players, basketball players? When you see their significant others, they're black. The majority of them have white wives. You know, that's just how it is. That's the stigma of status or whatever. Like, why do you think that happens? Like, do they reach a certain peak to where black ain't good enough? Like, what do you think it is to where they feel like they weren't supported,
I feel like
this is the thing that everybody doing?
I feel like there's a lot of things that happen within our culture, you know what I'm saying, between men and women. And there's a lot of unhealed traumas that are deep rooted, you know what I'm saying, all the way back to slavery days on how certain people used to do the bigger, stronger slaves and disrespect them in front of the women. And the women had that engraved in their mind, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, when you look at just the economy, they've made it easier for a woman to be without a man. The government do that shit, and that's what's ruining the household is the woman look at a man, let's say he been in jail a couple times, it's hard for him to get a job because he got a felony. It's easier for that woman to be like, I'm gonna get this WIC, I'm gonna get this child support, and I'm gonna get this government assistance, but your ass ain't allowed to be in the house if I'm gonna get it. So that ruined the family establishment. But I think what happens, man, is I can't speak from a black man's perspective, but I can speak as a Hispanic man. We get to these certain statuses of levels that we have women now talking to us that ain't never talked to us in our life before. You know what I'm saying?
And that has to do just with status?
I think so, you know, because a lot of these dudes that's dating some of these women, them women wouldn't have looked twice at them when they were still in the hood.
Yeah, you're right.
Women wouldn't have looked twice at them when they ain't had shit to themselves, but now they got some chains, now they got some money, now they it's almost like, I think it was Chris Rock, don't quote me, but a comedian.
The woman is better though?
The woman
someone from back then, you say. Like, how you're saying they wouldn't look at you, but how can you say that they look at you now, right?
Because now you got their money.
Are you saying they're better?
They know how to
is
feel
the woman better or is the man better?
So you said the man had low status, he gone up, and then now these women are looking at him.
Yeah, now he's attractive.
Are you saying now he's attractive?
Right.
To these women, are you saying these women are also better too, or no?
I wouldn't say the women are better because, I mean, any woman that's looking at a man for just his status, I mean, what type of woman is that? You know, I don't want no woman that once I done made it looks at me and sees what I have and that's how she values me. You know what I'm saying? I want a woman that see what I bring to the table. Like, honestly, if I ever get like super rich, I would want the woman to not know I have money, to see how she treat me there.
Yeah,
you know, I'd want to pull one of those on her to see if she really down or if it's not. Or maybe act broke for a little while when you first meet a woman to see how she treats you if she think you ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was a comedian that said it. If Beyonce worked at Burger King, she could pull Jay-Z. If Jay-Z worked at Burger King, he couldn't pull Beyonce.
That's just how
Those are facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I'll
that's
never
a
be with Jay-Z.
In any culture, and no, I won't say in any culture, in a lot of them.
Yeah.
A man is based on his status. A man is based on his status. If a man got a good job, he got to have a good. No, first, these the boxes. These the boxes. You got to look good. No, you got to find out where you got. What do you have to be? No. Money make you look good. Now what I'm saying, no, listen. The job. You got to have a good job, right? Then may have to have a personality. May. All right. If she got kids, he has to be the perfect stepdad, right?
No.
No.
I don't agree with that.
He has to be the perfect. This is my list. He has to be the perfect stepdad. Then it's based on looks at the end.
Know how to dress.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Good.
Any man that got something going on, a lot of other stuff get overlooked.
Looks.
Yeah, you're right.
Because at the end of the day, right now, this dude he can have a horrible personality, but he take care of this, and this. It's sad to say, but money take away a lot of problems and make you overlook them.
And I'm gonna give you another thing though, Joe. Check this out. Like he said, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? And it's funny. It's funny. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it wasn't no cell phones. When Daddy left the house,
he left for the day.
Daddy was gone for the day. Shit. Some cases he was with his other family. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why when women say, "Oh, I need a man that's gonna pay all the bills. I need a man that's gonna do X, Y, and Z." Well, my granddaddy did that. And let me tell you about my granddaddy.
Yeah, another family.
My granddaddy had probably another 2 families. Oh. You understand what I'm telling you? But guess what?
He took care of home.
He took care of home, and the lights went off. Food was on the table. Christmas was always great. And we can go down, et cetera. A whole bunch of great things. But then you'll tell this man, I want you to pay everything, and I only want you to be with me, and you're going to accept the fact of how I'm going to treat you, and you're going to deal with that. And I got to pay all the bills. But that's what was different.
Yeah.
Right.
When that man left the house, the woman kept the house in order. Like the woman as far as running that, the man was the head of the house. But mama ran the house.
Right.
She ran the house. You understand what I'm saying?
She's there.
Because she's there. So even with all that being said, a lot of people get caught up in these relationships about 50-50 and this and that. You can get a man that'll do 100. And he may treat you like the scum on the bottom of somebody's shoe. When you got a man that's willing to take half of the stuff off your plate, treat you like a queen.
We have.
And and like Michelle Obama said, sometimes it may be 80-20, 20-80, his way or my way. But look at their success together. Look at them together.
Yeah.
But then you got people out here talking about, oh no, if he can't pay all the bills, I don't need him. And them same people die alone.
I think it really boils down to how a person is raised and what their mindset is. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, there's women that, you know, won't talk to a certain man because he don't have status or he don't have this or he don't have that. But then with men, it's different because how many lames do we know that have money but got a bad bitch? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without that money, they don't get nothing. But then it's a lot of dudes we know that's good looking, might not have the money. They get chicks, but the chicks don't really stick around because he ain't really
Nerds in school.
Yeah, he cool to hang out with, he cool to fuck on, but then she don't want to start a life with him. And how many chicks have we seen that like to date the brothers, like to date the Spanish guys, and then when it's time to settle down, they go back to what they used to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, the girl that was dating the black guys and Spanish guys married white. You know what I'm saying? We deal with that a lot as well, you know? And I don't knock nobody for doing what they want to do, but it feels like sometimes people date out of what's beneficial for them. Like it's a lot of opportunists out here. Oh, yeah. You know? And you got to be able to acknowledge that because people are out here for gain. Like, what can this person do for me? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you approach a relationship like that, it has no chance to succeed. It has no chance to thrive. Y'all got to come in it.
Sounds like business.
Yeah, you know.
It's not a relationship, it's a business.
So I feel like if your relationship isn't built on trust, love, communication,
Trust, love,
you know what I'm saying, being able to speak to each other, not yell at each other, but find a communication level that works for y'all. I haven't always had the best communication style, and any girlfriend that might see this, y'all may admit it. You know, like I've been quick tempered. You know, I grew up seeing that, but those are one of those things. Like I told you, you got to unlearn.
That's what it
because
took you to learn, though.
you're gonna keep repeating the same phases. Your relationship is gonna turn out the same way the last one did if you act the same way you did in the last one. You know, so it's like
Unless you learn.
It's like when you was playing a video game when you was little. If you kept dying on the same move, you know what I'm saying? You eventually had to change your how you was operating to beat that level. It's the same thing with life. Like sometimes you got to make adjustments on the fly, and you really got to do some self-reflecting. And I feel like people don't do enough of that while they single. Enough healing and finding out who they are as a person. What they do is they meet someone and they try to be everything that person wants them to be. Now I'm gonna be me, and if it works for you, then that works. But I'm coming to you healed. I'm coming to you with no exes. I'm coming to you with no drama. I ain't got no baby mama drama. I want you to come the same way. So if you still remotely hooked on someone in the least, don't approach me. Because you're going to waste my motherfucking time, and I don't want that. I ain't going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Now I know you mentioned that your father raised you. So your mother wasn't involved.
My mother and father split, and for whatever reason they agreed on, we stayed with my dad. My mom remarried and started another family.
So you still had your mom in your life?
She, I'll be honest, man, I didn't really have a real bond with my mom until I was at my dad's house at 18. I saw her here and there throughout my life. Whatever the case was, you know, she says it was because of my dad. My dad says it, whatever that issue was.
Oh, I'm glad you touched on
that. Is that the way that, did that affect the way that you dated? Like, did you feel like abandoned?
I think it's affected me till this day. You know what I'm saying? Not having that nurturing figure in my life. You know what I'm saying? All I had was my dad. Don't get me wrong, I had a stepmom.
It made you hard.
But it's not the same. Yeah, it's like I'm not that type that's gonna just grab her and pull her up under me because I didn't have that person pulling me and coddling me. Like when I got hugs when I was little, it was most likely after an ass whooping to say he was sorry, he didn't mean to do that.
but a lot of people didn't get that.
There wasn't much affection.
That.
There wasn't much affection in my house growing up because my dad was a kid raising kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think that
you didn't know how to give affection.
yeah, and still that's still something I'm learning to do. Like a lot of my ex-girlfriends will probably tell you he's not affectionate. You know,
you feel like that's a
don't.
toxic trait?
Boy, I get this. Boy,
Is that a toxic trait of yours? Do you feel like that's toxic?
I wouldn't say it's toxic because it's not something I'm intentionally doing. It's just something that's ingrained in me based on how I grew up. Now, is
But
that
you
probably?
aware of it.
I'm very aware. Exactly. I'm very aware of it. So my next relationship, I will try to go out of my way to be more affectionate because I'm aware of it. You know what I'm saying? But taking acknowledging for where you fail and where you come up short, that's the first thing you got to do when you become single is find them weak points that you can turn into strong points.
People gotta think about or self-reflect.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you ain't constantly trying to grow as a person, what we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I ain't trying to be the same Joe I was yesterday.
There's people like that. They just want to distract themselves. They don't want to think to themselves. They don't want to, because you know, when you think to yourself sometimes you're not gonna feel good. You're not gonna feel great, right? So they don't want to. They try to stay away from that, whether it's drugs or distraction or going out or whatever people do.
I think people are.
How would you recommend people like get back into that?
I think that it all depends on the person. Like if you're dealing with someone that has a victim mentality, that's an uphill battle on their own. Because I've dealt with people like that, where it's everybody else's fault but themselves, and they still like that till this day. You know, with me, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't been that type of person where I pointed the finger at other places. Now I point the finger at myself. Because they say it, when you point at someone else, you got 3 pointing back at you. So I think that whenever, even like for instance, I made a post one time about apologizing to your kids. That's not something I grew up experiencing. My dad apologized very seldom. You know what I'm saying? It was his way or the highway. With me, I spazzed on my daughter a few weeks ago on the way to school for something. And I picked her up from school that day. It wasn't even my day to pick her up. But I told her mom, hey, I'm gonna pick her up today. I fucked up this morning and spazzed on her, and I want to apologize to her and talk to her about that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that goes a long way in the development of your child's future relationships, because now my daughter is learning that this is how a man communicates when they wrong. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't gonna accept no bullshit.
That's how they should communicate. But life don't always go as you think it should.
I think how big you think it is with your daughter having both sides of the spectrum, and even though y'all not together, her being able to see, you know, this you can function this way.
That's been the most important key for me and her mother, is to not let my daughter see any animosity between us. We've never done a separate birthday party. You know what I'm saying? When I was in relationships, my exes and the mom and her mother, Monty, would plan birthday parties together. I've always wanted it to be a cohesive unit. Shit, when Mia turned 5 years old, the girl I was with and the dude that my child's mother was with, we all took her to Disney as a collective unit. You know what I'm saying? So we've always tried to make it a unit, and Mia has always been the main focus. So as long as you put the kid first, everything else will play out. But I've never down talked my child's mother to my daughter. You know, I don't want her to ever think there's any, even when me and Monty wasn't on good terms. Mia was young at the time, but now she's older, you know, she won't hear me badmouth her mama. We ain't got nothing to go back and forth about. But I feel like it is crucial, you know. I don't come from a two-parent household, but all the girls I dated had two-parent households other than one. So I didn't see successful marriages from my family. I saw it from the girls I was dating. So that's what I saw, what family looked like. And granted, whether they family had issues and their parents had issues,
but you see
from the outside, that's what structure I saw. And that's where I saw successful marriages painted to me, was from the girls I dated. So I like to think that whether we worked out or not, any of the girls I've dated, I think that I've always had a knack for choosing good women, whether we worked out or not.
Now, well, you said a mouthful.
Both of y'all only have, that's the only one?
Yeah, we both only had one kid.
So we like these influencers, like Like my man just say, man, go ahead and ask your question, man, because it ain't something you want to get
Nah,
to.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
You gonna leave it alone?
Yeah,
okay, all right.
you can ask.
Nah, I leave it alone. You gonna leave it alone?
We here. Let's do it.
Man, what do you think about these guys? Like, again, and we touched on it earlier. It's just certain guys out here, man, that get on there and say everything a woman want to hear. And then when you do their research, man, boy, I look at it. Now look at it. You can tell in a lot of relationships. I said, if you're on the other end, if you and your in a lot of relationships, if you and your significant other is going through something by going through the posts or the stories, and you'll go on there, well, if he ain't doing X, Y, and Z, and if he don't love you and put his jacket on the ground and there's no water there, you need to leave him.
You know what's funny is half the time when there's women posting that shit, them women don't even have that. They just posting it because the shit sound good. Like a lot of them women that was like, we won't go to cheesecake, they probably been to cheesecake since then. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of people that post shit for likes and for shock value.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to a lot of these male creators that just pander to these women, I think they get a little bit of action, they get a little bit of traction and likes and exposure, and they just start pandering to what those women want to hear because they dealing with a lot of hurt, traumatized women. You know what I'm saying? I don't take that approach. You go to my page, I'm talking shit to the men, I'm talking shit to the women. Obviously, majority of my following is women, so a lot of the content I produce is relatable to what women see.
Right.
Women can relate to what I'm saying from a male perspective.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the men that have hated on me, you know what I'm saying, for the content I'm dropping, it's like, it's just jealousy, you know, because how you gonna hate on someone that drops a post and I got 1,100 comments and nothing but single women commenting? I just gave you the alley-oop, bro.
Yeah.
I can't talk to all these women. It's a whole comment section open of women that's showing what they want or how they want to be treated. But you focused on the brother that's sending the message because I got what you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So instead of taking some guidance, you want to have animosity with me. And it was like that in the beginning. I used to have a lot of the jits coming on my page talking shit, you this and you that. But once I looked at the analytics and I saw what my audience was, I was like, man, I could care less what y'all saying because the people that's my age and can relate to this shit, they the ones watching me. So all the little kids that used to come to my page talking shit, they kind of fell off because my audience strong now.
So tell the people again where we can find these sweaters at, man.
So right now, this is actually a vintage piece that everything on my online site is sold out, but I am going to LA tomorrow because we are doing a rebranding. Don't get me wrong, I love the ProfessionalEx logo, but a lot of my friends, let's say you was married, your wife don't want you to wear something that says the ProfessionalEx. So I got a logo, I'll drop it on my socials later. I've been prepping it and posting it here and there, but we're actually gonna have an emblem that's gonna be on the shirts. We're gonna be dropping a lot of women's workout gear. We're gonna have stuff for the men as well, but I just have more of a women following.
What about plus size athletes?
I need.
We gonna have everything, man.
Okay.
I mean, we got something for you, man. I got some shapewear for you.
Okay.
Get him a medium, and a couple months from now he'll be in it.
Next time you come back, we gonna have some.
Yeah, I'm gonna have. I'm going. Like I said, I'm going to the fashion district tomorrow in LA.
Okay.
We're going to look at all the women's workout gear, shapewear, sleep. We dropping sleepwear. We're gonna have the boy shorts. We gonna. This is the vision I had when I first did the hoodies. You know, I got the hoodies, I got t-shirts, and I got a tie dye.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to gauge where my audience was as far as buying merch. It was a pretty successful launch, the first one we did. So now we're taking it to the next level. And I'm trying to include people that wouldn't feel comfortable wearing this across the chest. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, other than this, I've never really been the type to wear brands across my chest. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was flashy. Not to no one that do, but it's mine, you know, it's mine. So I like to represent it. But I also know what is behind it. A lot of the times, these people wearing brands of families, because all these names, all these brands, Gucci, all this shit, this somebody's last name you wearing. A lot of the time. You don't know nothing about these people. You just know that your favorite rapper had it on. They this or that, you know. But we gonna have a bunch of stuff popping up here in the next few weeks. But you can get all that at theprofessionalex.com. You can find anything on my IG, which is the_professional_X. All my socials are the ProfessionalEx, Facebook, YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I haven't really grown my following over there yet because there's so much You know,
Yeah, something like that.
Won't know what's going on with TikTok just yet. So, but a lot of my friends have grown over there, so I feel sorry for them because it's kind of up in the air with that.
Yeah.
So do you take clients, like how can we get in contact with you specifically? Like if I'm trying to find a man and I need to know what I gotta do, like what do I
actually have a chat line that
Okay.
anyone that wants to reach out to me and have like a personal conversation with me,
I need a
they
conversation.
can drop some coins, you know, and you can have 30 minutes of my time, you can have an hour of my
Okay.
time, and you can ask me whatever you want. If it's just trying to get to know me, that's fine. If you want, I've had women reach out, and the reason that made me start the chat line was I had women reaching out to me at such a high rate through my DMs, asking me for advice.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I don't mind helping, but it seemed like it's a market for this. So
Why take the time?
why not get paid for my time? Because
Exactly.
now my time is more valuable than it was this time last year when I
Right.
had 700 followers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm getting podcast offers. Now I'm getting opportunity deals and stuff like that. So my time's a little bit more tied up. So, you know, I'm willing to help and I'm willing to give advice, but
Okay.
you know, it's the same as anyone that wants to go to a therapist or something like that. You ain't going to them for free.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I'm not saying I'm on that level or had that level of education, but I have a certain level of experience.
So why should I choose you over any other?
Honestly, I think you just got to gauge what fits you, what's most relatable to you. Like if you go to my page and you feel like the content that I'm talking about is something that you relate to, then base it on that. You know, I'm not going to say I'm better than any of these other people out here. I just know the experience I have and the knowledge I can give you, and I know how to articulate it and communicate it to you on the level that it's going to help you, you know?
So if it's one thing you can say at the gate, when that happens, they become an ex. What would that be?
Crazy.
X is being present. That's my thing.
Oh.
X is being present. Like,
Boy.
if you ain't completely over your exes,
I can't be a friend.
in any of your,
I can't be friends with my ex.
Nah, hell no. I don't.
Well,
I
we knew
mean,
each other before
to
we were
me,
friends
to
first.
me, like, I don't even consider. I consider my child's mother family, but I don't consider her a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, she more family because
Right.
she my child's mother. But I ain't friends with none of my exes because how you gonna be friends with someone from the past and expect to move forward? You know what I'm saying? How you still, and
Say
it's
that one
funny
more time.
because
What you
one of
said?
my buddies told me his grandmother said, son, it wasn't one of my buddies, I take that back. It was Chad Ochocinco on
Station. Uncle
the
Neff,
WA
yeah,
night,
yeah.
right? So he said, my grandmother told me, grandson, you're gonna have to realize that it's always gonna be one man to have access to that woman. No matter what. It's always one person that will always have access to her. And with me is, I'm not gonna live like that. Like, I don't want someone that your ex could just text you randomly and have access to.
But a lot of women, when you speak on that type stuff, a lot of women will call you insecure.
That's fine. You could call me insecure because you know what? This is what I'm standing on, and it ain't got nothing to do with insecurity because I don't give a fuck about that man. It has to do with the respect you have for me, and I don't want my woman putting energy into another man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my woman having another man that she could call and vent about our relationship. You need to vent to me. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that these women are venting to, these niggas is just waiting in the wings.
So she can't have a male friend. What if it's not an ex? It's a male friend.
Listen, this
that
how I
she's
feel
had
about this how I
all
feel
her
about
life.
this how I feel about that male and the opposite sex friendship.
Yeah, you got a
It's
female
always
best friend,
it's
too.
always one person that wanna fuck.
Yeah.
It's one person that wanna fuck, whether it's you or whether it's him.
You think that?
I know that. I'm a man. I'm a man.
A friend is a potential partner.
Well, this
Our friend is a potential partner.
this is my
get
thing,
along.
right? So look, put it this way, right? When a woman dealing with a man, right, and you say, oh, that's my friend, I know him for 20 years, he will fuck you.
As soon as you say, hey, what you
will.
doing?
Listen,
I'm
don't-
getting out of the shower.
Unless he's gay, and I've seen him around men and shit like that. Nah, because this my thing, right? I've had homegirls that wanted to fuck me, right? And I knew that, but I kept them at bay. But when I got in a relationship, I ain't talk to them because I know that, and it's disrespectful to my partner. What annoys me about women is y'all have these niggas in y'all face, in y'all inbox, giving y'all this attention, and then y'all turn around and say to y'all, man, it ain't like that, but you know goddamn well it's like that. Y'all know that man want to be with y'all. Y'all know that man want to hook up with y'all. Y'all know that man is in y'all inbox giving y'all this attention for a reason, but they play naive. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Don't play naive with me. You know what I'm saying? You know just as well as I know what that guy just waiting around for you and us to fall out. You could tell like this. When you get with a girl, go watch how many likes she get when she posts a selfie.
Yeah.
Then watch how many likes she get when she posts a pic with you and her. Well,
and then watch and see who like it.
Exactly.
And watch and see who like it.
And watch and
see who don't.
Go check
Watch
all the
who don't
dudes.
like
Go
them.
check all the dudes that liked her selfie. Then go check all the dudes that like the picture with you there. They ain't
Same
there.
thing.
You know what I'm saying?
But see,
Yeah.
it could be the opposite on the other side too.
No, it ain't.
because- No, look, because a woman can
men?
make a post,
Yeah,
but when
see.
she make a
It
post
is.
with her and the man, she gets more of women liking it because now the women are trying to see who she with.
Yeah.
Half of the time, the women like a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
I got a story to tell.
Yeah.
women want what other women have.
Now, how do you feel about coworkers? Like, you know, people have work.
Oh, that work husband shit?
I ain't gonna lie, I had a work. I ain't gonna lie. Let me tell you this. And people work husbands is that's real.
That's a real thing.
That's a real.
But that shit don't fly around here.
That's
Crunchtime survival.
I've
Let's get that shit straight.
I work in corporate America. That's real.
At call centers.
niggas a work
No, look,
husband?
At call centers. Look, at
You
call
at call center,
centers.
any job where it's men.
Call centers.
Both of them.
That's why I know it's a
Any
call
corporate
center.
office where it's a lot of
Mingling.
cold.
They get-
Oh, hold on. Let us
They
get this
you
straight. Hold
lunch.
up.
He don't know what a work husband.
Hold on. Wait.
He don't
Go ahead and get this straight. That work husband stuff
That shit
don't
don't
fly
fly
at
over
Crunch
here.
Time Survival.
Yeah. You gonna get your work husband fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Listen,
So he don't know what a work husband is. So
no,
basically,
I get an idea, but
what it is
I'm
it's
saying, like,
just
how can that be?
They bring you coffee,
yeah.
bring you coffee, bring
Basically,
you lunch,
it's just another motherfucker that
your
want to fuck.
comfort.
Yeah.
At work.
That's it.
Because you're around there. No, keep it professional.
Yeah.
man.
but listen, but think about this.
Hold the elevator for you.
Sometimes you spend more time up and
At work.
conversating at work than you do at home.
At home.
Then you're not working. Get out of there.
No, think about it. But think about it. Let's just say you working 10 hours, or even you got to take an hour to get to work. You work,
Okay.
hour to get home. You
All
go
right.
home, sleep 8. So you know what I'm saying? That's 18 hours gone.
I get you. It's a second home.
You spending more time there with them, so you building a bond with them.
Yeah.
There's a difference. It's a work boss.
And he can always be there to listen to her. I'm tired of going through this at
Yeah.
home. And you know,
And he
like,
gonna be right there like, girl, you don't deserve that.
You don't deserve that, girl.
Dirty
Hey,
man.
look, you don't deserve that, girl.
But then
Dirty
you
man.
have a situation.
Well, it's almost just
They
like,
have a whole
who was the dude? I don't want to say his name because I don't want to give him no more fame than they already had. But who was the dude, dark skinned black dude, that was doing all that hate?
Oh, I know you're
Yeah,
talking about.
they had
And then
a
got
whole
caught
nother-
sitting behind his wife, dirty bitch,
Yeah.
dirty dick. Exactly. That's what we dealing with nowadays. is you
Oh,
got-
listen, he was the biggest. I'm talking about.
He was capping so
shouldn't do
hard
that to
against
her.
man, yeah.
This, that,
and
what
he
happened?
was doing his wife the dirtiest.
But
bro.
a lot of them
That's why he
dudes.
don't like you, because he's seeing in you what he's doing wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of them dudes that actually be online carrying on like that. I just wish we had the opportunity to talk to their lady or talk to their exes and see what happened.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't want women like I have a daughter, and we'll go back on that on that side and treat Brandy like a daughter. Like we got a whole daddy daughter series. Like, and it's like a lot of these dudes will tell you that. Myself, I can sell ketchup to a woman in a white dress. That's how I feel. I can sell a ketchup sandwich, and knowing if she bite it, it might drip on me.
Yeah.
I sell it to her for $1,000.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm telling you? And when I'm with somebody, I'm with somebody. The first thing I'm gonna do if I care about her, I'm gonna give her the game because I'm tired. I don't want to do this no more. So I'm gonna tell you what to look for in these X, Y, and Z. And I ain't gonna try to build you. I'm gonna try to make you me in the female form. Not even make you me, but in the female form. So you gonna understand when game being read. You gonna understand when somebody full of it. You understand what I'm telling you? So if a man is not giving you that much, he don't want you to be nothing while you with him.
Yeah.
Because one day I might die.
And you need to have this game.
And you need to have this game.
Yeah.
So if a man and I said, and this is just my advice, and I give listen, don't ask me for no relationship advice. Don't do that because I was, like
He good.
I'm
He
still
got
learning.
relationship advice.
I know. Listen, I'm gonna just be, I'm gonna just be honest with you.
Perspective.
If that man ain't trying to show you all the ins and outs and angles how to survive after him, whether it's in death or divorce, that ain't the man for you. Because when you get with somebody, y'all should be building each other. If I'm not better after you, We lost time.
Man, I definitely agree with that, and I think, like I said, that goes along with any relationship. If Cat know how to fish, and he see I'm over here starving, and he ain't willing to teach me how to fish, what type of homie is he?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Selfish.
Now, he'd be a better homie to teach me how to fish than to give me the fish.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's right.
Teach me how to
Okay.
get it.
Teach
You know,
me.
it's like when you hit me up and you was asking me about the social media shit. We hadn't spoken a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was like we was back on the football field, caught up just like
Yeah.
that. And I was willing to give him whatever game I could give him to help y'all do better. And I feel like when you around people like that, you're gonna succeed.
Facts.
Because everybody, it's like I heard a saying, and it was at the top we collaborating, at the bottom y'all in competition.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
Boy, that's
so
what's
how
up.
is it- How is it? So say like right now, we just starting out Crunchtime Fitness. We all coming together, you know, for the betterment within business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like if you had a significant other that didn't support something that you're doing right now, trying to build, should that, like, how does that affect your relationship? Like, should they understand of what you're trying to build and support it? Or if they feel strongly about you shouldn't do that, like, how do you feel you know,
The
like,
next woman I'm with is gonna have to be extremely secure. I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you that. Because y'all see my page, it be wild. The comments get
Right.
wild. These women be out there on me, you know, and she gonna have to realize that this is a business. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a
Like,
business.
even girls I've dated, they'll be like, they'll get it mixed up. Like, oh, how could you post that? How could you this? I'll be like, hold up.
This
We
is my
talked about
business.
this already.
right,
That's the professional ex. You dealing with Joe.
right.
You know what I'm
Boy, say
You're
that.
dealing with Joe.
So
So if I'm going out of my way to give you the game and tell you, look, when I'm online, this how we get this money. This how we get into it. This what putting
Need you
me
to be
on. This what's
comfortable.
giving me the opportunity to provide at a high level for this family. Then I need you to support that.
And
But
you're
if
helping
your own insecurities are so stuck on the women that are coming and the women that I
And
can
she
be
ain't
talking
for
to
you.
and this and that, her vision ain't big enough for me. You know what I'm saying? She got to have that wide lens, and right now she got tunnel vision. I don't need that. I need someone in my
Wide lens
life.
and
I
not
need
tunnel
someone in
vision.
my
Let me
life
do
that when I tell her tomorrow or tonight, hey, I'm going to LA tomorrow with my business partner.
She got
You know what I'm
something.
saying? She understands
She
where
looking
I'm
at flight
coming
and say,
from.
what flight
You
you
know, like what
Man.
can I help you do? Do you need clothes washed? Not, oh, so you going to LA? Oh, you going to see?
Yeah.
Oh, you going to get something? Like, man, ain't nobody got
But
time for all that.
it's funny though. It's funny. It's funny.
Like when you said that,
It's funny.
that bring up a lot because, like you said, they got to unlearn certain stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why when you were just saying at the top we collaborate, you go forward because guess what? You getting away from all that. Girl, if he do, it be at a circle. If your circle wrong, you gonna be thinking wrong.
Man, listen, I'm telling you right now, our culture, and I mean Spanish and black, are the only ones that be beefing. You know what I'm saying? Beef is what we grew up on.
Yeah.
We was
Hate.
more quicker to hate a motherfucker than to be like, yo, let's get
To
it.
bring
You
him
know
up.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, let's get it.
that's just
Especially
how
in
we
our
are. You know what I'm
city.
saying? So the way I am, I've just grown up. I've always, you know it, I've always wanted to see my people succeed. You know what I'm saying? I've shouted out so many people on my social media that I had nothing to gain from it, but they gained followers from me. They gained opportunities from me, and I don't want nothing of it. I'm proud for them.
I'm gonna give
You
you
know
my
what I'm
baby.
saying?
Shout out.
So it's like,
I've been and he'll tell you, like this coach, you know coach, and he'll tell you, it's coach. Like you understand what I'm telling
Yeah.
you? Because even like coming in business before she even came on, right? What I say to you, I said, all right now, I know you. You understand what I'm telling you? And that's what I told him. I said we don't shit where we lay our head at.
exactly.
Yeah.
I told you the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I say this business, we don't fraternize with business partners.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people just think that this a uniform or what. No, this me. This me. And it's about business. And they think I'm hard sometimes. Like, boy, man, you so damn hard, man. You crazy. But
We
no,
do minimum.
when you see it, you check it right then.
Yeah.
Don't let it yarn ball, because you don't ever know. People can be emotional. You could be emotional, and like I told him, I say, cause we bringing the girl in, X, Y, Z. I say, but look though, you know you a ladies man, boy. You gotta, kind of look like me a little bit, And I said, with that being said, people gravitate and attract to him. No, listen, this is serious. They gravitate and they're attracted to you, right? They're attracted to you. Brandon's not an ugly girl. He may be attracted to her, but you know what I told him? Blood thicker than water. and calm thinking in both of them. I'll be water in that situation, but I got to make sure this business run, and we partners. So guess what? You can take that blood and that calm, but you're gonna need water to live.
I think
You're gonna need that.
I think it's important. Like if I'm gonna be starting my podcast soon. Obviously, I'm gonna have y'all come on there.
Yeah.
But I think if it ever got to a point to where I brought on a woman co-host, regardless of if I found her attractive, this is a mutual agreement to do business, and we are professionals. So I don't give a damn how fine I think you are. I'm gonna look at you as a professional first, because I don't want that transitioning on camera. You know what I'm saying? And it needs to be pure. Like I don't think there can be a successful like situationship in business.
Everybody's not.
Is your business partner.
Well, so
That's different to me.
I think that it just all depends how that started. Like, did y'all start it together?
Yeah.
Or did you bring some? Could I be with someone that was my business
You
partner?
said you started podcasting, right?
Yeah.
So what if that person you end up being with becomes your business partner? Like the
Or would
person
you cut it
with
off?
is
Like
your
if
business
you
partner?
gain that attraction to them,
Your
they gain
co-host is
attraction
your
to you.
business partner?
Is that a no-go?
I think it just depends on what works for them people. I think it would be tough for my partner to be on my podcast because you're gonna have to hear some content that you might not
agree with.
hear.
That's what I
You
said.
said you want to secure girls. You should be ready for that.
Yeah.
She
No, but
should be,
that's why I think
but
it's
guess what?
situational.
It's a difference between being secure, because a secure woman might be, you know what? I know what your page is like, so I'm gonna avoid seeing your
Yeah,
page.
I'ma just tell, and what I'm the realest one.
I know what you're doing, and I get it, but hearing some of
decision.
it, sometimes
It's
don't
not
sit
good.
right with me. So, and I've had women tell me that. I'll be like, damn, you ain't checked my shit today? And they'll be like, you know
Nah, I
what?
can't
You know
look
what?
at
that.
I just,
Start an
I
argument.
like you so much that I don't want to be aggravated with you.
That's why I think it's situational. Like when we met a husband and wife in Georgia.
Yeah.
If they did a podcast together, I think it'd be
It'd be tight.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's how their relationship built.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I think
that was beautiful.
I think it would be what type of podcast you want to do.
Right.
It's
If it's
gonna
a
be
relationship podcast.
very hard for me. Now that might be able to something I could evolve into. Like I don't plan on being a professional ex forever. I'd like to evolve into the professional husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if I was with a woman and I had a single male's perspective podcast, it's going to be very hard for my woman to interact on that.
Right.
Because I don't want to ask my woman about her past relationships.
Oh,
You don't
do
care.
that.
You know what I'm
Don't
saying?
ask it
I
all.
don't want to know
But
about
how
all
do you
that
know?
shit.
How do you know like something?
Not to say that I don't want to know about her past. I don't want to be having them conversations on camera.
Right. That's
Oh,
Yeah, that-
gotcha.
And on some
Okay.
Will Smith,
Okay,
Jada Pickett,
okay.
fucking entanglement shit. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
me personally,
I want to
I-
interview women that I ain't got no
emotional
nothing
attachment.
No
with.
attachment.
Can I be one of your
When she
first
leave,
interviews?
we might ever speak again, we might not, because it was just to interview her. You know what I'm saying? But I think if you having a relationship podcast, then yeah, it might work out great with you and your partner, because y'all are a cohesive unit. Y'all got a lot to offer to the world if y'all are successful. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So I just think it really depends on your bond and what you're trying to achieve. If I'm trying to have a single male's podcast, it ain't gonna benefit me to have a
Yeah.
woman.
definitely.
Have you thought about any books, like writing a book or a blog?
I've thought about a lot of things. I actually, after the podcast, I mean,
I think I need like a manual.
I think I'd like to put like a book together on how to help men be more successful with women, and maybe even the vice versa. Because honestly, when this whole thing started taking off, I was like, damn, I think I'm gonna be like the male Hitch, or the Spanish Hitch. You know what I'm saying? But then I looked at my analytics and was like, oh shit,
all women.
83% of my following is women. So it looked like I'm gonna be helping the ladies. You know what I'm
Have you
saying?
read any books on relationships?
I've read one of my favorite books that I've read is The Way of the Superior Man.
The way this.
Okay,
The Way of the Superior Man. I love that. The 48 Laws of Power, and also The Art of Seduction.
Yeah.
All these books are very important. There's one right now I'm reading called Atomic Habits.
Atomic
You
Habits.
know, yeah, I love that. You
You
know,
taking these notes?
but
I know these books.
Okay.
but yeah,
I
man,
need-
it's I think
I need
Except the
all these.
superior.
you know I
What was
think
it?
The Way of the Superior Man.
Superior
I
man.
need all these.
I think I like to listen to audiobooks.
Because we just started a book club where we just came up with we're gonna actually do weekly reads.
Nice.
And at the end of the week we'll talk about what we thought in
Yeah,
our
chop it up.
in
Yeah,
each
man.
chapter.
I think we living in an era where there's so much opportunity to create content, no matter what it is, you know. And I encourage, like, one of the people that really motivated me to do this shit was Wallow. You know,
Yeah.
Wallow is such an inspiration because you got to think this guy been out of prison for only 6 years.
He was what, 20 years?
He did, yeah, like 20.
20. And so you got to think all the people that had the upper hand on him on technology. This guy got out, it wasn't even cell phones when he went to jail really like that yet. But he done made millions off his cell phone. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that you got to look to what, like, I don't consider myself an influencer. Like, people like to say that shit to me, like, you an influencer. I just look at I'm someone that's just online sharing my experiences and making jokes about it in the process. But I just think that it's so much opportunity for everyone to do, and I encourage people to start recording your content. If you think you got something, run with it. Put it online, you know, because you never know how someone gonna interpret that, and it could lead to your whole life changing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Is it any one person that you watch that inspired you to feel like, you know what, I feel like I'm more like his delivery? Or
So there's a younger kid that I actually was watching for a while, and his delivery really resonated with me, which his name is Prince. I don't know like his exact IG, but it's Prince. And you know, he just had an approach about it to where he was talking about his issues, but then he kind of get frustrated at the end, you know. So I was like, damn, that's like, so what I'll do is some of my best reels have come from a meme that I saw, but then I turned it and made it my own.
So hold up, wait a minute. People in the game might be mad with you because they gonna feel like you stealing their sauce.
Yeah, but you know what? They stole that shit from someone else.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was going. That's why I was going.
Like this what it is, right? So you know how many people that can be mad at Kanye? Because Kanye done took some of the best songs in the world and chopped them up and made them even more beautiful songs. Right. But it's like, that's what art is about. You know, art is about inspiring people. So if you made a meme that inspired me to make a reel that helped millions of people see it, then we all winning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Your meme inspired me. My reel inspired other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have women that reach out, people that reach out like, yo, you really put a smile on my face. I look forward to seeing your stuff every day. I don't even think I had that type of impact on people. I'm just getting online bullshit and being me. You know what I'm saying? But it's resonating and helping people in their life, you know?
Mozart said, we standing on the shoulders of giants.
Exactly.
Which means everything that comes before you is what inspired you.
Exactly.
You're just making a small little addition, small little piece, and that's
so this is what I've dealt with, right? So when you do a reel, like let's say you want to do an audio, when you click on the actual video in the bottom right corner, it got a little square to where you can click on it and you can actually use the audio to do voiceover, like a sync of your lips. I've had people not do that, not give me my credit, not use my reel, steal my shit word for word and redo my reel, and it don't work out the same for them. Right. Because what worked for me ain't gonna work for you. Right. You know, I could give y'all the game of what I've done over the last year, but it might not play out the same way for y'all. That's why when people like, oh, follow my blueprint, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like what you can take pieces. I take pieces from everybody. Right. I'll take some knowledge from you. I'll take some knowledge from you today. I'll take some knowledge from you about what you taught me about Islam. And then I put that into my own mold. But if you out here just biting people word for word and trying to just mimic someone else because it's working for them, I think that's trash. But if you taking what someone posted and using an inspiration and you flipping it a whole different way and making it your own, then you being creative, but you just using some inspiration.
That's right.
Now, do you feel like, because I'll tell you personally, I never really liked the guys that were talking about relationships. That's not something I ever followed.
Women ain't never really liked men talking, period.
It seemed like it was a lot of women bashing to me. So it was a lot of women bashing, a woman needs to do it, a woman's not doing this. So I never paid attention to it because I'm like, I don't want to see that, you know. Yeah. So when he told me who was coming on, of course I researched him. So I'm like, oh, okay, he a little different. You know, his stuff is a little different. Do you feel like those ones that do that, is it just more of, I'm trying to get, I'm trying to go viral, or do you actually feel like that's how they feel about women?
Man, I feel like you're dealing with a lot of men with a lot of those men, they ain't used to that women attention. Like, I've been getting attention from women since I was a jit. You know what I'm saying? So ain't none of this new to me. It's on a higher level. It's on bigger amounts. but I've always had a way of interacting with women. I could talk to women. I could walk into that office right now and make all them ladies laugh.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like when you're dealing with men that ain't never had that attention, they gonna do whatever they gotta do to keep getting that attention, whether it's spreading false bullshit or stuff that people don't need to be hearing. So with me, I just try to look at what does this do for me? How does this look for my brand? And how is this gonna impact people that I'm about to say? So I don't like spreading no bullshit. Like every once in a while I give some toxic advice, you know what I'm saying? But that's more so for comedic purposes. Like I almost dropped a reel the other day where I was like, fellas, it's 100 guys calling her beautiful. Tell her that you was gonna call her beautiful, but beauty is on the inside and I ain't been inside of you yet. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
You know what I'm saying? So it's certain shit I come up with, but I think shit like that is taken as a comedic point of view. But I ain't out here telling men to dog women out. You know what I'm saying? Daughter. You know what I'm saying? She gonna grow up and see all this shit. You know what I'm saying? My daughter has filmed a lot of my reels, you know? So, I mean, my daughter has teachers that wear my sweater. My daughter wears my sweater to school. Will I condone other kids wearing my stuff? No, because I make adult content. My content is not for kids. I mention pussy, I mention dick. Like, I'm vulgar with my content sometimes, but my daughter is repping the brand. She don't watch that shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just think that when you're taking this social media approach, that what always is gonna shine through is being real. If you gotta wake up every day, and to maintain an image, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the things that worked for me is you go on my page, you're gonna say I've worn the same shirt a couple times. You're gonna see I ain't never in no name brand shit. I don't never have on no gaudy jewelry. I'm very relatable to women. At one point I was working a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? This is all very relatable, so I'm attainable. I'm the average male. You know what I'm saying? Am I good looking? I mean, but what I'm saying, I look better than I did. I'm doing better. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I think when you wake up and you just are truly your authentic self, from meeting you and what I've seen on camera, you come off as authentic. You authentic. I know you. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you on camera. You come off as authentic. So when that projects on, people can sense that. If you got to get on camera and as soon as you off the camera, you a whole different person, that means you got to live that shit every day. So guess what? When you going through it and you stressing and your bills doing all this shit, now you can't create content because you can't put on that front. I can create content in a bad mood, in a good mood. My daughter just got hurt. Like I can create it because it's me. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to switch flip that switch to where it's like, boom, okay, now I'm in content mode. You know, but ultimately, you got to be able to, and I think Jameis Winston at Florida State was one of the best people that did this shit, was compartmentalizing. You got to be able to take, okay, I know I got this problem in front of me right now, but I got this opportunity in front of me right now, so this problem gonna have to go back here. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to really be able to differentiate what's important and prioritize your time.
So coming down on the stretch, because we got to start wrapping things up.
We just been talking.
Yeah, we just been talking.
I love this. I love substance, you know what I'm saying? Talking.
Like, what advice would you give a young man going through a breakup?
I would give, first off, if you really over her and you really looking to move on, no contact. Take her off all your socials.
Dang.
I don't go as far to block, because I think that's a bitter move. If you feel you need to block her,
the whole family,
you know what I'm saying, in order to move. So I'm weird about that, you know, because I go into a situation knowing these people fuck with me because of her. So a lot of people get in these relationships and they start to think that they family, your family, so when y'all split up, you all heartbroken because they don't fuck with you no more. I know the game, you know what I'm saying? I know that if me and her and whoever she may be, that the friends that I met because of her ain't gonna be my friends after that. You know what I'm saying? I got one homie, he sell me sneakers, and I used to mess around with his wife's best friend. He be catching flack over it because he still be selling me sneakers. You know what I'm saying? But I just know the territory that come with that. So what I would tell a young man is to get focused on yourself, lock in on yourself and who you want to be, and become obsessed with becoming the best version of you. Don't worry about another woman. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that woman that's gonna come into your life, because you're gonna get tested. Like, how bad do you really want this? You know, how bad do you really want to be
Focus
a better
on
person?
self.
They're gonna put a woman in your life. Okay, now you done locked in with that woman. You ain't give yourself no chance to grow.
Right.
You ain't give yourself no time to heal. And I feel like a lot of times what we see in the relationships nowadays is you have a person that got out of a relationship, someone else gave them the attention, they got in that relationship, but they still dealing with the past traumas from the past relationship, so it spills over into the new one. So now there's insecurities that come up and all these traumas that weren't healed, and the relationship failed before it even had a chance.
So Brandon, give us your closing question.
My closing question, what advice would you give a woman who is raising a young son, and the son right now is considered like a mama's boy? So like that attachment right now, like my son, we spoke about it. My son, he's 5. He still sleeps in the bed with me. He told me I gotta get him up out of my bed. So right now he's attached. How, as a mother, how can I start the process of making him not be so attached to his mother, to where, you know, when he gets into a relationship, he doesn't have like that attachment to.
I think you gotta start letting him establish his own independence. You know what I'm saying? Let him fail. Let him get some bumps and bruises. If he fall, obviously this is hypothetical, or this is just, you know, if he fall, let him get up and don't go check on him. You know what I'm saying? Obviously he older, so we ain't talking about that, but we just talking about in life, you know?
Right.
Because I think that's another thing we dealing with is a lot of the friends that I've seen that have grown up with mamas, they coddle them. These motherfuckers, you go to their house, it's dirty. They don't know how to wash clothes. I've known girls that dated dudes didn't know how to plunge a toilet. Like, I know how to damn near build a house from scratch because of my pops. You know what I'm saying? So the best advice I would give to you is to start giving him some of that independence and force him to do some stuff on his own. Like, for instance, my daughter, I've been teaching her chores since she was 5. Mia do dishes, Mia vacuum. We got a dog, she want a German Shepherd. Okay, you gonna vacuum one day, I vacuum the next day. So when my daughter grows up, she don't need no man.
So little boys should have.
But when she grow up and people come to her house, it's not a pigsty because she was raised right. So teach him values, teach him independence. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's a lot of men out here that were coddled by their moms. And I think it was, don't quote me on the statistic, but I know it's close to this. Single moms that raise little boys, 70% of those males end up in the justice system.
Oh, wow.
When you put a father into that equation, it drops down to 35%. When you remove the mother from the situation, it stays at 35%. So that shows you how important a man is in a boy's life. Wow. And my biggest thing, and it's gonna bother some people, but it really bothers me when I hear women saying they playing both roles. You're not. You're not. Every year when Father's Day rolls around, I share a meme that says, don't even think about it. Because there's way too, I saw, and I know we got to close up, but I follow other content creators and I check for inspiration. So there's this one dude, he do the coffee shit where you stir it and it say a message where it said, you're a great mom. Or it said, one of his messages. So I go to his page and I'm like, man, let me see his best reel. And it was, you're a great mom, 77 million views, 45,000 comments, just berserk on this post. So I said, all right, let me check the rest of the page. I stumble upon the one that says, you're a great dad. 100,000 views, 1,100 likes, 39 comments. 30 of the 39 comments on the You're a Great Dad post was women asking, what about us? I play both roles. Wow. So I made a reel at 3 in the morning. I don't even make this type of content, but I was like, how come every time men are being praised for being good fathers, y'all gotta rear y'all head and pop up and say, what about us? What about us? I'm a single mom. I'm playing both roles. You're not playing both roles because you do not have testosterone pumping through your body, so you don't have the effect on a male that we do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like there comes a point where them spankings you give your son, it ain't gonna phase him no more. But the stern, masculine voice that dad has, it's effective.
So we won't let Top Dog close it out with his
crazy. He mostly answered it, but I'm gonna ask you this. If you can give somebody one piece of advice that you feel like would keep them from becoming an ex, what would that be?
Don't cheat.
I would say, like I said, man, communicate with your partner.
Right.
And my biggest piece of advice was do not get involved in something unless you are absolutely ready. If you still think you got that dog in you, don't get involved with no woman, man. You're gonna waste her time, because what's gonna happen is, I think in the beginning of a relationship, you got that infatuation stage where nothing they can do is wrong. You know what I'm saying? They beautiful, all this shit. But once all that wear off and you get down to it's like peeling an onion. Once you get to them deeper layers, that's when them eyes start crying, because you're starting to get to the real shit, right? I feel like if you're not healed as a person, the next relationship you go into is gonna struggle. So any advice I would give to a person to not become an ex is to stay communicating, stay going on dates, and stay doing the shit that y'all did to get together.
Dates are important.
You know what I'm saying? Dates are important, especially if you got kids. Because what happens is, and I went through the fire academy, I was class president of that bitch 2010. One of the main things that kill firefighters is complacency. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the same thing that kill relationships. You go through the motions, you go to work, you come home, you get in bed, you cook dinner, and it's just like, it's just boring. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got none of the spice that it had when y'all first started. So keep it spicy, you know what I'm saying? Keep it adventurous.
Well, who plan the dates? Like, whose responsibility to plan the dates? The man or the woman?
I think both should be responsible, man. Like, I don't think we living in an era where it's, I mean, obviously there's still gender roles, especially in my world, but I don't think it's designated to a gender anymore to plan a date. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had women hit me up and be like, hey, do you want to go do this and this with me on this day? You know? And there's a lot of women that are doing that. If y'all out there and you ain't dealing with no women that's asked you to go on a date or that want to take you to dinner, you ain't dealing with the right type of women, because the women are out there, man. They making their own money, they got their own stuff, they willing to take men on dates. But I think it's on anyone to plan a date. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm feeling you, like, say something pop up on my Facebook. Like, I remember I was in a relationship. I was at the barbershop getting a haircut, and I don't speak Spanish, you know this. But Romeo Santos had came into town, and he had tickets going on the floor for $90. So I hit my girl like, hey, boo, you want to go to this tonight? You know what I'm saying? Because it just popped up on my phone. But I think it has to be, like they say, oh, relationship is 50-50. No, it's not. It's 100-100. You need to give 100% of your effort, and I'm gonna give 100% of my effort in return. And then we gonna have a successful, cohesive unit. You know what I'm saying? So, in short, I think you gotta be prepared to be the type of person that needs to have a successful relationship. If you still got a broken mindset, if you still got one of these single nigga mindsets, like right now, I'm not prepared to be in a relationship. It would do a woman no good to try to be in a serious relationship with me at this moment. Now, I'm not the type that's ever looked for a relationship. They've always found me. I feel like that's the best way to go about it. If you're one of these people that's out there actively always, is this the one? Is he gonna be the one? Every person you meet, you wondering if they the one? You just looking for love in all the wrong places. Let it come to you, let it find you, kind of like this. I didn't plan to have 83% of my following be women, but my content brought them to me.
So it's about your content.
You know what I'm saying? Just what?
Yeah, came to him.
You know, it'll come to you, man.
So you got anything you want to close out with?
Ayoub?
No, you answered a lot of questions. You helping a lot of people, especially a lot of women. Like you say, your content is well, it's not necessarily for women, but that's just who it resonates the most with.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good.
Well, folks, this my man. Give him your name.
That was a good
My name
one.
is Cubero. I'm the Professional X. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. That's my biggest page. Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate y'all, man, for having me on.
That's your man, Coach Chang.
I'm getting
Coach Cat.
Coach Brandy.
And that's the Crunchtime Survivors Podcast. Stop playing. Yes, sir.